I am actually in this long trade now. So this is the first trade that I have taken. We nailed the short on Bitcoin. In my latest video, I was walking you through a short trade setup on Bitcoin at $118,000. As you can see, I was telling you that this was a crucial resistance and that I was expecting a reversal from this point. And I essentially said that I was not expecting a full reversal on this short, but that eventually we would find support to then bring this back up. And I believe that right now we could be at that crucial support where we could take the long for higher targets. So stick around and let me walk you through these setups. Let me remind you that in my latest video, I also called this short trade on Avax at $35, which played out perfectly. Even in my Discord, I said that I was waiting for $35. And once reached, I told my community that I was taking a short trade on Avax as per plan. And as you can see from there, we had a massive crash all the way down to 29. I had my entry at 34 and I actually took my first take profit when price was at $29. And the funny thing is that I even said that Avax is an easy add. We tapped the anchor VWAP and this would be good for a reversal, just like I explained in my video. And will you look at that, I shorted the top and then I bought back in at $30. And just this morning, my Avax long is up 130% with entry at 30.8 and current price at 35.4. Exactly as I had predicted in my video update. Anyways, now we can get into new trading setups that are coming up for us. I actually just opened a long trade on Bitcoin. And the reason why is because we have tapped this daily level that I was waiting for. We had this big crash towards my level. We then started ranging, and then we had an SFP, which is a simple grab of liquidity to stop the early longs out here, which I consider a really good low. So after tapping the daily level, having the SFP, and then we even reclaimed the value low of this volume range, that for me is a long trade any day of the week. So very simple for me, long trade right here. Stop loss can be either below the low, but usually I like to give myself a little bit more space just in case we go and do another grab of liquidity to then have another reversal, and that will be the real move. So I am keeping a wider invalidation, and I also plan on adding more onto my position if we make a bit more of a reversal to then bring this back up. And for me, the targets are very simple. I will be taking a first take profit at around 115,000, and then I will look for this, if reclaimed, to move up to 118,000 again. I would also like to make it clear that if you have taken the short trade from 117,800 or whatever it was, I personally didn't because I was waiting for 118 to be tapped and it was never tapped. But if you have taken the short trade, this does not mean that on this long trade, you are going to close this. Do not close your short trade because this could easily fail. It could have a little bounce, but it could easily just keep on going down to go get 107K. And I do think that in case we lose 107K, as I have told you before, I would expect for Bitcoin to go all the way down to 96K or even 90,000. So yeah, this is very, very simple on Bitcoin. On Ethereum, I really like the fact that we went and took this liquidity that we had down here. And I did add a little bit to my holdings. However, for a much bigger position, as I have talked about already, I would like to see 3,800 all the way down to potentially 3,500. And in this box, I will be buying a lot of Ethereum because this is the make it or break it point. This is what Ethereum really needs to hold. So if this happens, I would expect something like this where I will be buying the shit out of Ethereum. I would probably add from here to here another 100,000 into my spot positions. If Ethereum loses this area, then it's really game over. It will take a long time before we can go back up. People will lose hope and it will really take a while before we see a recovery. So this needs to hold, and therefore this makes it a great trade for me with a very, very easy invalidation. Regarding Avax, I am no longer in my short trade. As you can see, I closed it for $500. Here you can see a couple more trades that I've taken in the last 30 days, which of course they are all in profit. Keep in mind, these are closed positions. If you go on closed orders, of course, there's all the little orders that I've taken on my recurring positions. And as you can see, they're pretty much all green. Anyways, yeah, I'm in this long trade on Avax with entry at 30.8, and I did add to my spot positions. Now, as usual, we have to keep in mind the latest high that has been put on Avax and the weekly level that we have right here, because this could easily go grab the liquidity resting above here where there's all the stop loss for the shorts. and just do a simple failed auction where we chill a little bit up here and then go back down. And in this case, this would be another short trade. Something like this. Or we might simply grab the liquidity with a 30-minute candle, close back below the high, and in this case, this would also be a trigger to a short trade. So keep this in mind because this could be a really nice opportunity. Of course, if we can flip this level and hold above this weekly and the latest high, as I've talked about before, I am expecting $45 on Avax, which is why I'm holding a really big bag. Then hype, in my latest video, I had warned you at $57 that I was expecting a bigger crash to then hold a support right here. So actually, this is looking really good. We pretty much did what we did on Bitcoin. We hit my level and then for sure people longed here and then those longs got stopped out. And then now we have reclaimed this little range, if we want to call it. And this honestly would give a long trade. However, the only thing that I don't like is that we have not tapped this anchor VWAP. However, this looks really good for me, and I think I will take a small risk with a stop loss at $45. I'll just risk a small amount of $600, and I am actually in this long trade now. So this is the first trade that I have taken live. So yeah, this could easily go and retest this area at 47, but I'm happy to start a position right here with a small invalidation here. Keep in mind, we could go again to tap this anchor VWAP, but in that case, I would be stopped out of my position and I would open a new one once we reclaim this value area high. So we do have this long trade on hype. Honestly, you could go for a smaller position, put your invalidation at 42. I would actually prefer that, but obviously that would give you a smaller risk to reward. Obviously here we would have to target something higher, a new all-time high, let's say at 65. So it depends. Like this, you would have a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. If you put it below the low, you would have a 1-to-7. So you have to choose whether to increase your size and have a smaller invalidation or reduce your size with the same risk of dollars that you've taken on the position, but keep a wider invalidation. For me, this is acceptable risk. I like the 4 hours. We put the low, we SFP'd on the 4 hours. So this looks pretty good, to be honest. Again, it's not the safest trade, but looks good enough for me, and I'm excited to take the first live trade on a YouTube video. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I think we've covered most of it. I just want to show you one more thing. I just want to show you one last trade, which was actually insane. So I never covered this trade in a video update, but in my Discord to my members, I was talking about MNT when we were still at $1.63, and I was saying that I was expecting a move down below to 1.45 to then bring this back up to basically a new all-time high. And as you can see, the little squiggly line that I drew was pretty much perfect. We had the exact movement down to my 1.45. For some reason, I didn't get an alert that I had at around 1.47. So I was not able to take this long trade, but I know that this guy in the community did take it and clearly has had a really nice return. So yeah, pretty insane. This was really a snipe type of trade. And yeah, those are the kind of trades that you can get if you simply joined the Discord, which by the way is completely free as of now. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed, and remember to join the Discord.